All right, so I guess I'm going to do a voice memo. I wanted to talk about the incident or this ongoing energy that surrounds trans women and cisgender women, and how I believe that it is based in white supremacist ideologies and patriarchy. And why do I say that? I say that because the issue with Madison coming to defense of a conversation between B. Simone and the host of Horrible Decisions. It doesn't matter when the podcast aired. The fact is, there were 3 cisgender, presumably heterosexual women, maybe bi when their man is threatening to leave them, but they were sitting around having a conversation and attempting to define what a transgender person is, using a derogatory word for that community. Whether B. Simone have friends who are trans, the very fact that she used the T word to describe her quote unquote friend is concerning, because I would be appalled if a white person were to describe having, oh yeah, one of my friends is a nigger. Do you understand? It's a derogatory word. That derogatory word is taken and used in a different way within that community. And B. Simone nor those other women were in position nor had the experience to speak on the definition of a trans person. So when Madison, a self-identified trans woman, decides to make a comment stating that the ignorance behind the statement that these women were making, she has every right to do that. Then for Lovely T to turn around and say that Madison had no right to be the messenger of that message, correcting cisgender straight women on the definition of trans women. You are saying, as another cisgender woman, that a trans woman is not the messenger, the right messenger for this message, due to the platform that Madison has. But she goes on to describe it by saying this, her roast and gag show, that where all she does is degrade biological black women. If you don't understand how that is a dog whistle for a group of women who are transphobic to come out in droves and start either spewing their hate in the comments or directing their hate towards a trans woman that you talked about, whether it was done unintentionally or intentionally, the fact remains that a specific word was used to create or to ignite a fire. Because after that, another cisgender woman created a video about it. Now, my observation from what I see is that the reason, the base and the foundation of this issue that cisgender women seem to have with trans women is that already you center your womanhood around men. You have whole channels on YouTube teaching women how to be more feminine. And in that alone would lead you to an understanding that femininity is merely a performance, as with masculinity. You do not have the corner on femininity simply because you have a vagina. Or a uterus, or a period, or can have a baby. Because if that was the case, there wouldn't be women on YouTube teaching you how to do that. Right? And when you think about the channels that are teaching you how to be more feminine, what is the objective? What is the goal in this teaching? What will you learn by the time you are done with the course in femininity? What should be the objective? Is it to get a man? Is that what it is? To get a masculine man? Is that what it is? And now these same masculine men are attracted to trans women who exude the same femininity that you are learning how to perform. And not only are these women outperforming your femininity and attracting men with this femininity, so now you feel like in order to keep a hold on these men, you have to protect your femininity. And then that's when you start misgendering trans women, because you want to remind someone that this trans woman has a penis. That's what you want to remind, right? Because these men who are attracted to trans women are also killing trans women. And in that, because they're trying to protect their masculinity to the world. So while you're trying to protect your femininity to attract a masculine man, these masculine men are killing trans women and then telling you that they lied. When these men lie to you on a consistent, regular, historical basis, now all of a sudden you choose to believe him because it supports your femininity. It supports you. Somehow you feel like, oh, he must have been tricked. How could this person outperform femininity and I have a vagina and a period and a uterus? How is it that these men that I'm centering myself around are still abusing me with my pussy, uterus, fallopian tubes, period, and all? They're still abusing me at a high, astronomical rates. And your objective is to gain the attention of men. And I often think about when I ask cisgender presumably heterosexual women. Would you ever date a bisexual man? No. Why? Because I already have to compete against women. I don't want to compete against a man. Oh, but here comes trans women. And now here's some more competition at what? Gaining the attention of who? A man. Who you are learning how to perform femininity to attract. That's exactly the reason why you have to misgender and call her man, Mandy man. When you are centering your womanhood around a man, when you're centering your ability to perform femininity in order to attract a man, you've already lost. Because acknowledging the existence of trans women doesn't take anything from your ability to perform femininity and in that attract the man that you want. Madison has every single right to defend herself because you continue to try to erase her identity. And the reason why I say it's riddled in white supremacist ideologies of oppression is because you are telling a person that in order for you to feel comfortable, this is how they need to identify. Because I say you have to identify this way. Because if you acknowledge their existence in how they're telling you they identify, it doesn't take anything from you. At the end of the day, if she tells you all the time, this is who I am, I know who I am, I know I'm not this, and yet and still you feel this desire to misgender, call her dead name, post old photographs. Meanwhile, you are trying to tell her what she needs to be. And when she comes to her own defense, because if anything were to happen to her, nobody would be standing up for her. Y'all wouldn't stand up for her. You create these dog whistles, biological woman. What does that mean? What are you protecting? What does acknowledging a trans woman existence take away from you? What does it remove one of your fallopian tubes? What does it do? Does your period somehow disappear? You know what it is? It's this. You're centering a man. I already got to. That's why I won't date bisexual men, because I already got to compete with women. Isn't that what y'all say? I already got to compete with women while I want to compete with other men. But now you have trans women, and you just don't understand it. How your vagina and your learned femininity is still not enough. And you have a problem with it. And so the same way, and to me, I really would classify this behavior as toxic femininity. Nothing is taken away from you by acknowledging that Madison exists. You misgendering, her talking about quote unquote biological women, it's ignorant on its head, because you are stating that she should not be coming after you after you have attacked her, because she is a quote unquote man. Do you understand that the same practices and tactics that these illogical white women use, you are using against Madison? You attack, you're aggressive, you use trigger words to get people to pay attention to her. And then when she turns around and snatches the rest of the edges your no good nigga left, now it's a man coming after me. And I guess for some reason, even cisgender men can't address you. You have a problem with them addressing you. So it's ignorant. It's this argument, quote unquote, if you want to take it, oh, men can't argue with women. This man is attacking me. And you do all of this dog whistle and still your men don't come and see about you. Don't nobody give a damn. You holler all this, oh, a man is attacking me. And who comes to save you? The man that you're centering, you learning how to perform femininity for? They don't come looking for you. They don't come to help you. The same hatred that has caused the president of the United States to be the president of the United States is the same type of hatred that you are using to draw people into your sight. And that energy, you are using the collective anti-transphobic ideologies in order to draw people and to attack Madison and to come to your aid. You are weaponizing your femininity in the same way white women weaponize their femininity when somebody does something to them after they've attacked them. And all of this is because you feel like you have some additional competition now. So whether you like it or not, these quote unquote straight men are having sex with trans women. Enjoyable sex, continual sex, full on relationships, whether you like it or not. And guess what? You can't tell who they fucking. They won't tell you. You know why? Because you've created environments for them that are unsafe. I don't even want to get into that. So now you have additional competition. And that's why you believe them when they lie again to you and tell you that they didn't know that this trans woman was trans. That they didn't know. All of a sudden, you the lying ass nigga, he done lied for eons and generations. All of a sudden, you believe him. It's oppressive. It's riddled in white supremacy. It really is. Because you don't have anybody to oppress. But who? And try to silence. You feel strong when you go up against a trans woman. You feel like you have your vagina is your armor. Your vagina hasn't saved you from shit. Look around you. Look at the statistics. Look at the numbers. Black men are killing trans women and cisgendered women. So who are you trying to perform femininity for, honey? Who are you centering your womanhood around? Who is defining your womanhood? Who? You ought to be ashamed of yourself. You think you have a corner on femininity because you have a vagina and because you can bear a child? So what about the women who can't bear children? Are they not women? Can they not speak on or perform femininity? You guys know that femininity and masculinity are performances done in social settings. Being ladylike is a performance. Being gentlemanly is a performance. Men don't have the corner on masculinity. Women do not have the corner on femininity. Anybody can perform it. Anyone. The reason why you guys cannot, and there's some of you really can't stand trans women because they perform femininity better than you. And some of you with all your pussy and everything would never, ever be referred to as fish. Not by the gay community, not in the way that they use it. In the heterosexual community, fish is used to describe a woman with poor hygiene. That's why you have a problem with it. Think about it. The men who say that your pussy stink like fish is the same men you're trying to center your womanhood around. Isn't that crazy? You don't see the sickness in that? And you don't get to tell someone who's being oppressed how they have a chance to, an opportunity to work and sit at a table with someone who is using dog whistles to bring people to attack them. You don't get to do that. Madison doesn't have to sit down with any of these anti-trans bitches. She don't have to make space for these whores who will bring violence into her life. How dare you? How dare anyone suggest that? That's like asking you to sit down with somebody from the Klan. Somebody who will say one word and bring violence into your reality. You don't tell, oh, Madison should have sat down. She needs to sit. She don't need to sit down with nobody. She doesn't need to make space for none of you bitches. Y'all go watch your little femininity YouTube channels. Figure out how you can perform femininity, because as you can see, your black artists, they're painting you. They're painting us masculine. So now you have to learn femininity from some channel. How come why are these channels so popular? Teaching women how to be feminine. And yet and still you mad at a trans woman. I thought you had the corner on femininity. You have a vagina, don't you? That's your rationale. If we using your logic, can nobody teach you that then, right? Because you're a natural biological woman, girl. If you don't get that shit out of here. Because all of this is real. The foundation of it all is a man. And by these numbers, these men ain't treating you like they are treating you like shit with your pussy and all. Y'all can't tell people how to defend themselves. It's the same argument that you guys have, that we all have as black people with these oppressors and these people out here. We have the same conversation. Don't tell me how to identify. Don't change me from Negro to Afro-American to African-American to black. You telling me how to identify, so then you gonna turn around and tell a trans woman how she needs to identify? For who? For what? For what purpose? What does it take from you? I'm so tired of this goddamn conversation. And I want to reiterate, half of you bitches would never ever be referred to as fish by anyone in the LGBTQIA plus community. Do you understand me? So you ain't got to worry about nobody calling you fish, bitch. You ain't got to worry about it. The only people who's going to be calling you fish is heterosexual men when they want to say your pussy stink, ho. And for all those who want to say, Erica, every single time I come out and I speak in defense of the LGBTQ community, I get comments from straight black women. They don't love you. They'll talk about you just like they talk about us. I'll tell you one thing. The closest people around me are gay, and they have never harmed me, ever put their hands on me. I can name 4 men, straight, black, cisgendered, heterosexual men who have. I've never felt in fear of my life around a gay person. I've never felt like I couldn't be who I was in front of a gay person. I've never had that experience. So I don't want to hear it. You can keep your emails. I'm tired of this conversation. I'm tired of, and the bottom line of it is, and this is the reason why so many women need to divest, is because you're centering your womanhood around how a man sees you. That's why you want to make sure that trans women are seen as quote unquote men, because you want to make sure that this man knows. They know, honey. They know. Trust me, they know. So why you believe that lie, this lie that this man done told you for generations, and now all of a sudden you want to believe him? Oh, honey, he's lying. He's lying to you about the trans girl. He's lying to you about his baby mama. He's lying to you about how much he make. He's lying to you about how compassionate. He's lying about everything, bitch. Don't be mad because somebody performs femininity better than you and you down on YouTube trying to figure it out. Don't be mad. What does T.S. Madison say, bitch? Step your pussy up. If you got a problem with another bitch around you, step your pussy up, bitch. Get your shit together. Stop coming down to YouTube with a mustache. Stop coming down here having to put on red lipstick. You can't even perform femininity in the way that these men are attracted to. And that's why you hate trans women. I'm tired of saying it. I'm tired of saying it. I know I'm tired of saying I've been talking too long about it. I'm done talking about it. I don't give a damn what y'all say in the comments. Y'all can say what you say. Any disrespectful comments to marginalized groups of people will not be tolerated in my comments. I will delete it. You will not get any shine. Stop telling oppressed people how to behave under the eyes of their people who are oppressing them. Don't do that. And if T.S. Madison wants to correct somebody on how they are defining transgender people, she has every single right to do that. And you have really no business saying anything about it, because that's not your experience. Good night.